Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jungle Show. Today, we are glad and finally glad to talk more basketball as we've had a week-long break here with finals happening for Auburn basketball and for the players. So no basketball, but we are here to recap last week's game against Colgate and preview today's upcoming game against the Memphis Tigers, a big-time quad one game here against them, and talk more in what's happening around the program, a big 2024 commit. And when I mean big, I mean literally. But all that and more next on the Jungle Show. Welcome back in, everybody, for another edition of the Jungle Show. Glad to have y'all back here on Auburn's Daily's YouTube channel, Twitch live stream, and Facebook page. Of course, we are very, very excited to be talking more basketball as we do every single game. We got more to talk about. Let's start with that first, though. But to do so, to talk this Colgate game, to preview this upcoming big matchup against Memphis, and our very large commitment that we just got, I brought in my dad and co-host. Dad, how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm excited that finals are now done, so the guys can get doing what they're playing basketball.
Oh, okay.
I'm just playing. Guys, study, get good grades. But yeah, it's been a long week. It seems like we had just kind of gotten started, and we're watching some games, 2 games a week, and getting excited. And then you have this, and you're a week.
What that noise was?
It's a break. You put on the brakes of the season, and it hurts. But had some time to watch some other teams play. Not real impressed with a lot of them. As a big Carolina fan, I'm not impressed with my Tar Heels.
No,
so
not at all.
Anyway, excited about this one today. Enjoyed watching them play Colgate. And real excited about the news that came out. I guess it was today.
Yeah. It was today when we record this.
News.
Yes.
Yeah. We're recording this Friday night.
Yes. So Auburn landed a 2024, their first 2024 commitment from a 7-foot, 310-pound center, 4-star from Marietta, Georgia, named Peyton Marshall. He officially took a visit back in the middle of September, took a visit with his friend and AAU teammate, Ace Bailey, and
looking at you, Ace,
and who's a 5-star and a 2024 top 25 point guard. Yeah, that's right. So, but he committed earlier today. He's the number 48 player in the class, the number 9 center in the class, and man, we just talk about his size. He is a 7 foot, if an inch. He's 7 feet tall,
7 feet.
And he is 310 pounds, and he looks bigger than 310. He looks 315, 320, 325. My first thought was, wow, Bruce is doing a better job at recruiting offensive and defensive linemen than we are.
My first thought was, can he play tackle? Actually, my first thought is, can he move his feet at all?
Yeah.
Somebody that big weighs that much, you kind of worry about his feet.
Oh, yeah.
A guy like, you go back and watch film of Shaq playing when he was at LSU, and then when he came into the league, he was that big. He was bigger, but his feet were, like he was like a ballerina on his feet. He could get up and down. He could move. He could spin. He could. It's like his soccer player.
Yeah.
I don't know about this kid yet. I've seen some videos. I saw a video of him literally shoving a small white child out of the way and dunking it.
Yeah, no, that was rude.
And I guess the kid probably pretty good, but our guy just shoved him out of the way and dunked it. And I was like, you're not going to be able to do this as much in the SEC. So hopefully I'll get a chance to watch some film on him, see how his feet are, does he have back to the basket moves?
Yeah.
Is he a shooter? Can he step out 17 feet?
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's something we got to figure out. Yeah.
I mean, he's big. He's 7 foot. Every bit, like you said, every bit of 310. I think they're being awfully friendly. And if you look at the picture of his recruiting visit with Ace Bailey looks like a 12-year-old, and he's 6'9".
He's 6'9". Bailey's big.
Bruce Pearl looks like a child next to this
man. Like a little toddler, yeah.
You'll have probably seen the commitment picture that looks like they're in the jungle. And he's a big fella.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
He's a big fella.
I know.
So I'm excited.
It's
good to start the 2024 class with him, and hopefully we can get Ace in and maybe attract a couple more and really load up on some talent in 2024.
There's a great line of talent, especially in the Atlanta region and in the Georgia region for 2024, and that's where Auburn has pipelined players, not just through Auburn but to the NBA. Bruce Pearl pointed out earlier this week that all 6 of his draft picks played high school ball in Atlanta.
Hello,
and then
Georgia.
the next day or so,
again.
Well, the next day or so, he gets a 4-star 7-footer out of Atlanta. So,
if you're the
very timely comment there, but I mean Georgia, if
you're the AD at Georgia, and you see that happening, do you not go to your basketball coach and go, "What are you doing? Put a fence around Atlanta so Bruce Pearl can't get in here." Because Atlanta is one of the most talent-rich basketball cities in the country, in my opinion. And Bruce, just like you said, just pipelines them from Atlanta down 85 to Auburn and then out into the NBA.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Jabari's had a good week, had a career high 23.
That's right.
And Walker Kessler's making his second start tonight.
How about that?
So
Walker's
tonight,
playing great.
Friday night, sorry.
Yeah, and Walker's playing great.
Playing great. Doubles, a lot of blocks.
Leading the league in blocks.
By the way, just like he did for Auburn.
Yeah, exactly. So, moving on, let's talk about this. Auburn wins by a score of 93-66, a big 27-point win, an offensive outbreak that the Tigers had been needing very, very badly. And boy, did it come in big numbers in this game against Colgate. Obviously when you play against toothpaste,
they're not that good.
It's not. They're not. They weren't great. And yes, they're going to be good down the road. They're going to be good in their conference. But matching up a team like Auburn, who had a game like how Auburn had,
it's not going to be close. So they score a lot of points.
Yeah,
typically, and they're going to probably win their league or maybe second in their league, and we held them to what 66 points. That's well below their average.
Yeah.
So
their average
again,
was a little over 80.
Our 81. Defense traveled to Auburn to Neville Arena, but it was the offense that was the show.
Yeah, and let's just talk about the offense right here. Talk about the positives offensively. Obviously, you scored 93 points in a college basketball game. You're going to win a lot of games, especially with the defense that you have on this. That you put together on this team. But Auburn shoots 55% from the field, 45% from 3, 10 of 22. That is outstanding. Only having 8 turnovers, which is another unbelievable thing. 24 second chance points, 44 points in the paint, 44 bench points. Thanks, Katie Johnson. It was an unbelievable offensive performance put together by Auburn, continuing to prove they have one of the best, if not the best, defense in the SEC and the nation. But this offense finally finds this groove. They're shooting. We've been saying it for so long, all summer, all preseason, all the start of the season. Guys, the shots are going to fall. There's going to be a game where we just explode and we look completely different. And this was kind of this game. Katie Johnson went 4 or 5 from 3.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these guys. Wendell had 13. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, only 2 turnovers, and a block and a steal. By the way, the block came on a guy driving for a layup. Wendell got him before he got all the way up, and I think Jabari commented on it on Twitter saying, "You're never going to let us live that down."
Yeah,
and somebody else said, "Yeah, it's going to be higher up on the rim every time he tells it." Wendell had a great game, but and KD had a great game, 4 or 5 from 3. My gosh, if he could do that every time, he'd be unbelievable. But folks, those of you who sat there last year and said Allen Flanigan is washed up and done needed to watch that game against Colgate. And yes, I know it's Colgate. However, Allen goes for 12 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, has 7 boards, 3 assists, a turnover, and a steal. If we get that kind of production, he's plus 17. If we get that kind of production out of Allen Flanigan every night, I'd be happy. He played great. He looks explosive. His shot is back.
He looks confident.
He pulled up 1 3. The guy was literally in his face, and it didn't bother him a bit from the outside, from the wing, right in front of the student section. Pulled up, dropped it in the guy's face, and I was like, wow, that's the Flanigan that I remember his sophomore year. Is he all the way back? I don't know. But plus 17, he played the most minutes of anybody, played 27 minutes. And was lights out on the D. Look, he's always been an elite defender. He's an elite on-ball defender. Sometimes when he's off the ball on the wing, the guy beats him backdoor because he overplays that so much. And I wish he wouldn't do that, but he's going to get steals doing that too. So Allen Flanigan was the best player on the court the other night.
No, and let's reference this first. Auburn did this, scored 93 points, had this offensive breakout game without probably their overall best offensive player in Jalen Williams, who did not play in this game due to an illness. Allen Flanigan got got that starting nod. And they, I thought that was an interesting nod. Instead of somebody like Traore, who was built for the 4 position, go start the senior, go start Flanigan. He's been playing better, and we'll figure out the lineups, especially against a smaller team like Colgate. It worked out perfect.
It paid off.
It worked out perfectly. Allen was great. He looks like Allen. Last year, he never looked like Allen Flanigan. He didn't look like he had his legs under him. He was explosive. He never looked confident. He never looked like he felt like he fit in the offense and on the team, because he came in so late. He was injured all preseason, so we never saw Allen Flanigan. That looked like Allen Flanigan. And you match that offensive efficiency that he had with his defense, with his length.
It's all SEC.
It's outstanding.
He's got a body that can take it. He's 6'6". He's built like Adonis.
Yeah.
So his body can take fighting through screens, running off things, getting in the air and getting hit. So he played great. I do want to touch on Janai. So Janai Broome had one of those games where you go, man, he played great. And then you look and you realize he missed a bunch of shots. Janai's shot is not there yet, but it's coming. And when it does come, and when he does start making those hook shots,
15-footers,
12 to 15-foot range shots and the turnarounds, he's going to get to 20 and 25 points. Right now, they just look short. They don't look like he's getting enough on them.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're going to come. But he had, what did he have, 3 steals?
4 steals.
4 steals. 2 of them were breakaways.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about stealing it down in the paint, like knocking the ball away from the guy. Exactly, I'm talking about overplaying a screen and stealing it from the guy, picking his pocket. He's a really good defender, but he can't go, and he won't. It'll get better. He can't go 6 of 13 and 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Those have got to get better.
I agree.
And they will. He did have 9 rebounds, led the team in rebounds. Sometimes we see Wendell Green leading us in rebounds. Janai led us in rebounds and was still at +9 in 22 minutes. But 4 steals for a 6'10", 6'11" center and out on the court like that is really impressive.
No doubt. No doubt. So I touched on this team stat, talking about the offensive explosion here earlier. We have 44 bench points. We have not gotten that kind of production from our bench in a very, very long time. It's very rare to see a team get almost half their points from the bench, especially when you have the kind of players that you have in the starting lineup, especially moving Alan Flanagan up into the starting lineup. I mean, hey, Wendell's he's the offense is going to run through him no matter who's the leading scorer. The offense is going to run through Wendell. So having 44 bench points is very impressive. A lot of that is due to Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson was the leading scorer with 16 points. He had 4 threes.
He was great.
He was outstanding. I want to talk about 3 other players on the bench. Chance Westry had 8.
Yep.
His 3-point shot's not there yet.
Nope.
I still think he's getting his legs under him. He looks so good. He was so good. He's so smooth.
Every game he makes a pass that I go, wow.
Yeah, had 2 assists in this game.
So and almost every game he makes about a 15-foot foul line extended jumper and gets fouled.
Yeah.
He's still not good on free throws, but 4 of 10 shooting and just looked a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
He's learning that position. Let me touch on KD real quick, because when you have the opportunity to bring a Katie Johnson, a Dylan Cardwell, and usually an Alan Flanagan off the bench, you are adding instant impact, instant energy, instant offense.
Yeah.
And that's just, most teams don't have that on the bench.
Yeah.
The elite teams do, and we'll run into them. But KD coming off the bench and doing 16 points, 4 or 5 from 3, he was hot as any game I've seen him in a long time. Didn't have a turnover, had 2 assists. That's what you need from KD Johnson coming off the bench.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think he can provide that.
Yeah, 100%. So you just gave me the perfect segue to talk about the next player, Dylan Cardwell. Has 9 points, 4 of 4 from the field, has 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. You get that kind of production off the bench with Dylan. Allen's going to be there most games because Jalen's going to fit back in the starting lineup. KD playing the way he is. Chance Westry, if he gets going, we're going to talk about the next guy here in a second. But Dylan, that's exactly what you want from him.
So you got your center position did 22 points and 15 boards. If you combine Janai and Dylan.
Yeah.
22 points, 15 boards. Shot 10 of 17 from the field. You're going to win a lot of games when that center position is providing that. And it's not one guy doing 21 points and all the boards and another guy giving you a point.
Exactly.
Dylan gives you valuable minutes. Not only is his energy great, off the charts great.
Yeah.
Not only does he get the crowd into it when he comes in, but he goes 4-4. 1 of 2 from the free throw line, has grabbed 6 boards, has 3 block shots. I think he had another one that they may not have credited to him, but he was phenomenal. He is, God, that kid, and grown is the wrong word. He has gotten so much better this year than he was last year. And so much better last year than he was the year before.
Year, yeah.
He has improved so much in the off season, and he's gotten to where now he's molding his body to be able to take the banging that he's going to have to take, because he's going to have to guard big guys. The kid at Kentucky, what's his name, Oscar Tshiebwe. He's going to have to bang with him. And Dylan now has the body where he can go in and go, yeah, you don't intimidate me.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah. So
really happy. Dylan's one of my favorite guys. I think he's one of the crowd's favorite guys. So happy for Dylan.
Yeah, no doubt. So, and talking about the last guy before we kind of wrap this up and talk about Memphis for a good bit. we've been talking about him all offseason because we know what he could be, especially when we were out there playing in Israel, because we saw what he could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yohan Traore looked like he's taken not the next step, but that first step. You know what I'm saying? Like taking that. Okay, maybe this is a game where he can build on. Maybe not. Not the greatest offense. He only has 8 points. That's still really good coming off the bench in that role. 3 of 4 from the field, goes 0 of 1 from 3, has 5 rebounds. 2 of them were offensive rebounds. Has 2 assists. Has 1 block and 1 turnover. And in his 18 minutes, he was a team high plus 22 plus minus.
And we've not been getting that specifically from Traore.
Exactly.
I have not felt like the team's better with him on the floor the past 5 games.
Yeah.
Against Colgate, they were better when Traore was on the floor. He was more aggressive. He hadn't been playing basketball that long. Yes, he's a 5-star. Yes, he's got a pro body. He's got the long arms. He's agile. He's tall. He's strong. So he's going to get there. And the 3-pointer that he missed, it looked good. There's nothing wrong with it. He was wide open, took an open 3. His form is good.
Yeah.
And the offensive rebounds were follow-up dunks. I mean, he's not getting a rebound and trying to lay it back up. He's attacking the rim, which I love to see. He's going to get the defense. I don't think he's quite there yet. One of the hardest things in a Bruce Pearl system is to be a defender, is to learn how to play defense.
Yeah.
And he was able to dominate in high school. He's not able to dominate right now.
Yeah.
Do I think he will be? Yeah. I think if we can keep him next year, who was it that said that?
Dustin said it.
Dustin said he's Chuma Okeke. I think that's a great comparison. I think it's exactly who he is.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see him contribute this game. He looked like he felt like he was part of the team.
Yeah, like he belonged.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on from this big time Auburn win against Colgate, of course,
it's a win.
It's a win
against
a win to improve
tournament team.
Exactly, but it's a win to improve to 8-0. And listen.
Always.
Not all teams can say they're undefeated because this start of college basketball, especially the week, not this past week, but the week before during feast week.
Yeah.
What
a lot
the
of
heck?
big teams lost.
What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, the 4 overtime.
So we're undefeated. That's something that and we won't talk about the Northwestern.
But only 10 teams can claim that now. Oh, by the way, Northwestern went into East Lansing and beat Michigan State. It's not as bad of a loss.
That's one of Alabama's signature wins too. You know who else is one of Alabama's signature wins? North Carolina. And they look horrible. So
I don't understand. I still don't understand North Carolina. I think they'll figure it out, but they better win today against Georgia Tech. If they don't, it could really turn south. Anyway, that's ACC.
So,
nobody cares about ACC.
Exactly. So
let's
moving on.
Memphis.
Talk Memphis. Look, Memphis' schedule is hilarious, and when I say hilarious, it's because they think they're in the SEC. They played Ole Miss. They played Vanderbilt. They beat both of those teams. They're 7-2. They're a really good basketball team. And then this week they play Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M.
They're kind of running through it.
They're just they're trying to make a statement.
Penny Hardaway.
They're 2-0 against the SEC.
He can play in the SEC. All right, so
they're 7-2.
Hang on. They beat Vanderbilt. I don't know if y'all have seen this tonight, but so did Grambling State. Vandy,
that's not
what
good.
Are you doing?
I'm on Stackhouse.
Come on, Jerry. You're better than this. I think he's starting to catch that Carolina fever or something. Yeah, they got beat by Grambling State. So Vandy's not there yet. But Memphis is rolling. They beat Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is a pretty good team. I don't know that much about them, but I think they're pretty good. I watched them play St. Louis. St. Louis beat them. Not bad. And it was a battle. It was in St. Louis. It was physical. It was fast. They were athletic. They jump out of the gym. They're a Penny Hardaway team. They're not well coached, but they're very athletic. And they want to beat you up. They want to trap you. Bruce Pearl said it. He said, we've got to attack their trap instead of they're going to want to trap Wendell to get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat them.
Yeah.
So their guards are not tall. We've talked on here several times about Wendell's nemesis is big guards that beat him up.
That's right.
That's not what he's going to face today.
That's right. So we're talking about, just like you said, they're 7-2. They're a very good basketball team. They're the number 29 team in KenPom.
Wow.
Just one of not the highest ranked 2-loss team, but one of the highest ranked 2-loss teams.
Highest ranked
no
team
matter
we've
what,
played, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So no matter what, each way, this is a quad one game because this is at a neutral site.
It's good.
So they lost to St. Louis. They lost to St. Louis at St. Louis by 6, I believe. And just like you said, it was a battle. It looked just like the game that we played St. Louis last year in St. Louis. It was just a battle, a very physical, up and down, score a lot of points battle.
Yep.
And then they lost to Seton Hall by 1. So, and then that very easily could have gone the other way. So they very easily could be 8-1. This is the best team, the best competition that Auburn probably will face
until we go west.
Until you go west, and maybe above those two teams. I'm not really sure what to expect.
USC is probably close to them. I don't know that Washington is, but we're out there, so those are true road games out there.
But Auburn loves to play in this Atlanta. Auburn played in the Holiday Hoopsgiving last year against Nebraska, and all the big like analysts and quote unquote experts said Nebraska was going to win, and Auburn just buzzsawed right through them. That was the game when I was like, okay, that Jabari Smith guy maybe better than we think he actually is.
I think we ran about 15 lobs on fast breaks during that game. I think Devin Cambridge had a skywalking dunk in that game. Jabari had several. Wendell was great in that game.
Yeah.
He apparently loves that building.
He
shot the ball well in that building last year. And the year before that, we played Memphis there and beat them as well. So I don't know, who was it? Somebody was talking about this is to have the rights to Jalen Green, to say that we have the.
Well, Jalen Green said he was going to go to Auburn.
Well, he also said he's going to go to Memphis. So the Memphis people say he's going to go to Memphis. We say he said he's going to go to Auburn. So Jabari's teammate was one of those guys that went G League, and if they win, then we've got to have another game because that's a rubber match. If we win, we're 2-0 against them. He was ours. I think that's a brilliant plan.
Okay, so talking more about Memphis and their actual basketball team, they're full of seniors, full of fifth-year seniors, full of transfers. Penny really reloaded this roster from the kind of struggled a year before, and
last year
they never really looked like the Memphis team that we've seen, with these unbelievable athletes in the past, Precious Achua and James Wiseman and guys like that. But they're loaded. They're senior led. Their leading scorer is Kendrick Davis, averaging 17.4 points per game. He's a 6-foot senior guard wearing number 3. And then another guy to watch out for is DeAndre Williams, who's their 6'9 senior forward, number 12. He's averaging 14 and 7. No other guys averaging more than 8 points. So be on the lookout for those two. Find a guy to guard them. I think Jalen Williams is the perfect guy for DeAndre Williams. They're about the same. They're about the same size. And Jalen is playing outstanding defensively, and he's 100% back. And then you put Zepp or KD or somebody like that on Kendrick Davis. He's 6 feet tall.
Allen's taller than him and may give him some fits.
That's true.
Because I think Allen could stay with him. I don't think I want to put Wynn on him because I don't want to have Wynn running all over the place on defense trying to guard him.
Yeah.
But if I can get Allen to be physical with him, like big guards are with Wendell, maybe that works. Again, they're very athletic. They want to get up and down the court. They have a very good defense. This may be a 43-42 game.
No.
I'm just saying. Both defenses are very
I don't approve of that.
Elite type of defenses.
Yeah.
So this will be the best defense we played against.
Yeah.
We need to shoot. We need to make open shots when we get them. If we'd have made open shots when we got them against Northwestern, we'd have blown them out. It's just about making open shots. It really is. Our defense is good enough for us to win games if we can make open shots. And when you make open shots, you're going to score 90 points like it did against Colgate.
Exactly.
Probably won't against Memphis because they're better. That's okay. We'll be fine. It'll be a fun game.
It'll be a good game.
A fun game.
It's the toughest competition that you'll see in a while. So,
do you know what the other games are at Hoopsgiving in Atlanta? No. There's other games.
Who cares?
It's basketball.
Yeah. Well, I want to watch the number one team in the country beat the team across the state. So,
yeah,
go Cougars.
By the way, Houston has some revenge on their minds.
Yeah, from last year because that was goaltending. That was goaltending.
That game last year.
If you know the game, you know the Alabama Houston game last year. You know our language right now. You know what we're talking about. But I thought the Houston coach was going to be arrested and put in Tuscaloosa jail. It was that bad. He was angry at the end of that game. So, they're ready. So we will be back to discuss this Memphis game and preview Georgia State next week. All of that and more next on the Jungle Show. If you want to find the amazing stuff on auburndaily.com, just go there or at the Auburn Daily on Twitter. You'll find us on Twitter at War Eagle Hoops or at Gray Oldenburg. All that and more next on the Jungle Show. We will